Hello, everyone, and good evening. Welcome to Reality Hour. I am Adam Samuel. Today, we're talking week 3 of Dancing with the Stars, but it's not just any week, it's Disney week. And joining me is my co-host, Grace, who is in character in a Lion King garb, I think.
Yeah.
How you doing, Grace?
I'm doing well. This was a fun week.
Well, I love Disney Week, whether it's on American Idol, on Dancing with the Stars. You got into character. I have to.
I like it better on this show than I do on Idol. I have to say that.
Oh, really?
It doesn't make sense on Idol because they're never going to release songs like that.
Yeah, but I mean, it's fun because you get you wouldn't have gotten that anyway. Otherwise, you know. Well, what did you think of Disney Night here?
I thought it was fun. Like I always do. We have some new leaders this week. So that's always nice to see. We had some people continuing to move up the ladder, which I'm also happy to see. I thought it was a fun week.
What? Oh, this is just a disaster. I'm trying. What did you think of the song selections? Did you have any surprises? Any songs that you were kind of a little bit, you're like, oh, I didn't expect to see that one?
The two that really surprised me, like mostly the songs. I mean, I'm happy we didn't get anything from Frozen, I think, for the first time. No joke, for the first time in forever.
For the first. Oh, was that a. Were you doing a bit
we
there?
Frozen every single year. And this year we didn't. And I really don't like Frozen. So I'm pretty happy about that. The two that baffled me, like the pairings, were Caitlin and Anne. Like why they would give the blondes Hercules and Moana is beyond me. But we can get to that. These ears just
aren't going to work. Oh, there we go. No. I got the ears to work.
Yay!
Somewhat uncomfortable because I'm wearing these these headphones. Oh God, this is just how it's going to be. You know what? I am sad, Mickey, today. That's what we're at.
Sad.
All right. Hashtag sad, Mickey. Were you a fan of this episode? Do you think it delivered, or where would it rank in your ranking of Disney weeks on Dancing with the Stars?
It's hard to say. Definitely not my favorite. I don't think any of these performances will be listed on my favorite Disney nights performances ever list. But it was a decent night. Yeah,
I had fun, but I really enjoyed this episode, but I think we're burying the headline here a bit, which is the results. I think we should kind of get right into it. I'm sad. That's all I can really say. She was robbed.
No.
She was robbed of her first place title.
I want to know, though, because I put up a Twitter poll like I'm going to do probably every week. I asked, did the right couple go home? 2 people, and I'm guessing you were one of them, voted no. Out of 40 people.
I found that poll, and I voted no. Carole Baskin, what a loss. Grace, she is the greatest talent of our generation, and we have lost her so early in the competition. What happened? Where did she go wrong?
Simple. To make a Disney reference, her samba was not dancing. It was walking with style. If you can call that style.
You know what? Look, I knew. This is just not going to work.
Maybe lose the headphones.
Go with it. Hopefully, we'll just hope. I was hoping there was another week or 2 of gas in the Carole Baskin train. I'm ashamed. I'm sad to see her go. But yeah, it makes sense. I was just one more. I mean, Sean Spicer. I mean, he got further, and we hate him.
Because people who don't watch the show were voting for him.
Why can't Carole Baskin make it far too? Why?
Because she's not a Trumpkin? I don't know.
But she's crazy. Anyway, so here we are. Has there been any news in the Dancing with the Stars sphere to bring up? You want to?
There was one thing that I neglected to mention last week, but Derek Huff signed an overall entertainment deal with ABC, so we will probably be seeing more of him in future things. Not exactly sure what that means.
Will we see him replacing Carole Baskin in the competition?
Oh. And if he did, that wouldn't be fair. He's already won the show 6 times.
What if he goes into the competition as Carol Baskin's new dancing partner? I mean, he's like the golden boy on the show. He can make anyone like. He's got like a threshold of like 6th place. Like, come on. Grace just shakes her head.
He'll probably, if Len does ever come back, he'll probably be a 4th judge. If not, he'll probably just stay there. I know ABC does a lot of Disney specials, and he's performed in several. I don't know if he'll branch out and do his own show, but I don't know what that means for his future on World of Dance. But that's a different issue entirely.
I just realized every time I nod. God. This is the most fun I've had podcasting in a while. All right. Well, Disney night. One of my favorite parts of this episode and Disney night in general on like American Idol. I love the costumes. Like, look, I don't watch professional dancing. Like, I don't know when people have like rules for different dances. I'm just watching for fun. Who is entertaining me? Where's the story going? That's like, I'm a casual, I guess, in that sense. Like, I just watch for the TV aspect of it. And this is fun because it's the show. It's different. Forget dancing. Did you have like a performance that you enjoyed just on enjoyment alone?
We'll get to that. I did smile throughout Jeannie's dance, and a lot of people were talking about her. You know, she loved what she was doing. She did the beginning of Up, which is always a beautiful thing.
God.
But we can talk more about that when we get into the deep dive.
One last question, and that is, since you are more plugged into the Dancing with the Stars sphere, who is the favorite currently? Who is the one that people have the most eyes on? Is there a top 3 names that you're kind of hearing the most?
And
are they on my team?
I mean, it's kind of hard to say because this week we had new leaders. Justina has been dethroned from number 1. But one of the top scorers this week was on your team.
Well,
but yeah, I can't really read the tea leaves so deep yet because it's hard to say who the real favorite is. But I do have a few ideas in mind.
Look, from what I've seen, the little that I've seen, I'm seeing a lot of AJ.
Oh yeah, we'll talk about him later.
All right. Well, we've got a lot of dances.
Hey, we have 14 instead of 15.
Yeah, a lot of dances to get through. But first up, Sky Jackson and Alan. What song are they doing here? This was from Almost There from The Princess and the Frog. I actually recently saw that movie. It was pretty good.
It's a good movie.
Their dance here, I'm surprised it got scored so low. I mean, 6s. I was like,
If they had gone later, they might have gotten a 7, at least one.
I don't know. This was one
She's gonna blow everybody away next week. I can tell already.
Well, one thing I was a little surprised. This one didn't have the best costumes. Like of all the ones that we saw this episode, it was kind of like straightforward. I was like, what did you think of the costumes, the dance overall? What were your thoughts?
I loved the content. I mean, they had Alan in green, which was a nice little tribute.
Oh yeah, no, I got it. Go on.
And I mean, her turn at the beginning was a little bit rough skis. I still don't think she's lived up to her first performance, but she seemed very, very receptive to the judges' feedback. Bruno said it was stiff. I agree with that. But other than that, and I think next week is really going to be, if she's going to have a breakout moment, I think next week is probably going to be it.
It feels very rehearsed, if that, like, in a bad way. Like it seems like you can see the gears turn 1, 2, 3. All right, now I'm turning here now. Like it's just so much in her head. Like I
talked about that last week, and I've talked about this with Johnny about her being about people being placed.
Yeah,
I think
that's the word.
Let loose a little bit. I mean, next week she really doesn't have an opportunity to do that, but because she's got a foxtrot. But
look, I'm not one to talk. I've never danced a day in my life. I could do like the sprinkler. That's like the extent of my dancing ability, and maybe I know some parts of the baby shark song dance. Like that's about that's the extent of my dancing ability. So like, look, I I'm just watching for the enjoyment. And
Right.
anyway, we move on. Who's up next? We got Monica, Aldama, and Val. They're doing a Viennese waltz to Part of Your World from The Little Mermaid. Grace, are you a fan of The Little Mermaid?
I haven't seen it in a long time, but either this or Under the Sea we get every single year. And I'm
really
glad
like
she didn't have a red wig.
Yeah, this one, like her costume didn't like make so. Was that this costume she wore, the dress she wore in the dance scene? I haven't. It's been years since I saw this movie, so
it was like the colors, but it kind of looked like it was just thrown together, like just with the colors in mind.
Yeah,
but I liked that it wasn't like a straight up Ariel costume because we see that way too much with this week. And she didn't have a fake red wig like everybody else does. Except for Shauna, actually, she doesn't need it.
Well, now she does.
Yeah, now.
But I thought it was here's my thoughts on Monica. Good, but forgettable, if that makes sense. Like she's solid.
A lot of people were surprised she survived this week. I was not, because she was a lot better this week. But
she's talented. Like she's good. I just I can't, like, who's voting for Monica? I just don't see people getting excited about her. I feel like she's just kind of there. And like, I feel like there's some forgettable contestants this season that and Monica's kind of one of them, which is a shame because like I said, she's a good dancer. Like she's not, it's fun, but just a little.
Yeah. I thought this was her best week so far. I'll say that much. And she did the song much better than Bobby Bones did it a couple of years ago.
I thought we don't talk about him. He is the one who shall not be named.
No, but the skeleton.
The skeleton.
That's his name.
We move on. Justina Machado and Sasha. They're doing a Charleston to Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. All right. Not as good as we've seen in the past, but
no,
still joyful. That's the way I would describe this dance.
Although I got nervous though when she had like the props, because Charlie White did this for Disney Week in season 18. It was the first Disney Week, and he had a cane and Sharna had an umbrella. Sharna's umbrella broke, and Charlie ended up like going to toss his cane and he dropped it. And I was like having like slight post-traumatic flashbacks that was going to happen again. I thought technically she was fantastic. I mean, I agree with Carrie Ann that she wanted a little bit more energy. But, I mean, she didn't stumble too far, so I'm not that nervous about her moving forward. And next week she can get back to her roots. But she's got to do ballroom and fun stuff as well as she does Latin.
The parts on the floor were super awkward. Yeah, I was like, not feeling that part, but otherwise I love this lady. She has fun energy. She's enjoyable, a joy to watch. And I remember her. Like, even if she didn't do that great, I feel like she's still someone I would look out for. And she, like I said, just a joy to watch. And that's really the key here.
Yep.
Well, it's time for Prince Ali, AJ McLean. Doing, what are they doing? It is a quick step with Cheryl. How'd he do?
Well, first off, this is Cheryl's second Aladdin dance. She and Drew Carey did Friend Like Me. There's me being a nerd. And this is actually Val's second Little Mermaid dance. He and Rumor did Poor Unfortunate Souls, and it was so good. But we'll discuss that later. Well, first off, I mean, again, talking about how much he loves his wife and kids, like the dude knows how to play the reality show game. Because we know people love that. It's how Tate Stevens won X Factor. It's how Jeff Goot made it far on that show too.
I like Jeff Goot. What are you doing? Jeff Goot, don't come for Jeff Goot. I say wearing a Mickey ears.
Of course, he doesn't have a wife, but he has a son.
All right, well, let's AJ. How's AJ faring?
I thought it was great. He's continuing to improve. I agree with Derek that he gets a little bit hunched in his frame. He kept up really well. He performed really well. Next week, he's going to destroy everybody. Although, I mean, when he did say that he was wishing for an 8 from the genie, I was like, dude, you only got 1 7 last week. Beggars can't be choosers. And he got all 7s again. So His scores are consistently going up, and I'm happy about that. I still want him to win. Not convinced that he will because the show hates me, but
I don't want him to win. He's not on my team. Talk about hashtag team not Adam, hashtag team not Grace.
I thought your team was team hot mess.
Yeah, but I'm pulling for in the moment. All right. Well, I like JJ. I think I can't see a finale without him, which means he'll probably go home next week. No, probably not.
Oh, there's no way he's going home next week.
Well, we have Anne Hetch. It's like how Australian people say the letter H.
British people do too sometimes.
It's a quick step to this was 0 to hero, right? This one?
Yes.
There were some mistakes here. I noticed this.
Definitely.
Even someone is not a dancer. And that's a bad sign, I think.
I don't think a lot of people that watch the show. I feel like a lot of people watch the show watch it for entertainment, but
that's what I do.
Enough of it to know what good dancing looks like. That's me. Think? I mean, I'm not a dancer either. I didn't even I spent most of the dance scratching my head wondering what it was because one of the rules of quick step, I'm going to have a Len Goodman moment, is that once you're in hold, you have to stay there until the end. They could not.
What?
That's a rule in quick step. You can break hold in the beginning, you can break hold in the end, but you have to stay in hold once you're there. Wasn't a whole lot of content. I thought it was pure novelty. It was a huge step back, and honestly, I think her placement in the bottom 2 was 100% justified.
If only it could have been her.
Move on.
Could have had one more. I'm still in grieving, Grace. Look. Not great. I don't think she's long for this competition. I think she's. I
don't either.
Yeah, I think she's.
Huge step back.
Yeah, but we'll see. I mean, we'll still a couple weeks to go, but we move on to Jeannie Mai. I think
it's Mai.
And Brandon doing a Viennese waltz, and this is my favorite of the night, easily.
Oh yeah. She was trending on Twitter throughout this whole dance.
I have never heard of this woman beforehand, but that all aside, just the dancing was beautiful. I love this song. It is maybe one of my all-time favorite Disney songs, or definitely my top 3. And just, it's like a journey. Listening to this song, you go through a whole range of emotions, and it's not okay. But I'm one of the few people I know that can actually get through that scene with dry eyes and up. Oh, God.
That one I'm fine with. The end of Coco kills me, though.
No, this one's worse for me. This was... Because it just starts. You're just sitting down to watch a movie, and, in the first 10 minutes, you're just ripped apart. I love it. But look, this lived up.
That movie is fantastic.
This gave me all the feels. It gave me what I needed. It was perfect. It was great. I loved it. I truly loved it.
I did too. She loved this dance. She got to, talk about how much she loves her fiance, young Jeezy, which that always wins you points. Again, I don't think it works as well when you're a woman, but. And
the balloons falling on them. I feel like everyone should have one moment of that in their life where they're just standing and
with all those balloons on the floor though. I'd be afraid to step on one in those heels.
The real MVP of this episode is whoever had to clean up those balloons. They go to commercial and there's an arm. I've gone to these reality shows
balloons are easier
during
than
commercial. An army of people swarm the stage. It's so. They like ants. I remember there was one contestant, they had confetti on America's Got Talent, and they just they had that cleaned up in seconds. They were bam, bam, bam. Balloons got to be hard. I'm just imagining people with shoes with spikes on them, and they're just stomping around.
Yeah, I mean, I actually worked at an amusement park for 3 years, and they used to do confetti in the parade, but they switched over to streamers simply because they were easier to clean. Confetti is a nightmare to clean.
I feel like you got to use a vacuum, like a leaf blower.
Oh yeah, they had these weird vacuum things.
Okay, well,
yeah, they got their first 8, and I'm very happy for them. They keep moving up.
Well deserved. Yes. We move on to who's next? Nelly and Daniela doing a foxtrot to a song that is from Soul, which is coming out in a couple of weeks, right?
It's coming out right before Thanksgiving. It was supposed to be out this summer, but then pandemic.
Will you be checking out this movie?
I am very excited for it. I know Eric is too. And I was very excited. I mean, I really don't like it when they get new movies because it feels like kind of unfair because nobody had heard this song before. At least I hadn't.
Yeah, I've heard this song. This was in It.
Was
like
it?
The horror movie. I think when they have the scene at the Chinese restaurant.
I don't know,
like,
but
I'm pretty sure it's this song. The original, not the new one. Like the 19 like this is an old song.
But I mean, still, unreleased song, unreleased movie. I
but
thought Nelly was
not unreleased song. This is an old like.
I don't know. I think definitely though, if one person was going to be the one to promote this movie, I think Nelly was the right choice because it is about a music. It's about a music teacher who wants to be a professional musician, and Nelly is a professional musician. So I think he was definitely the right choice for this. I thought it was technically his best. But I know a lot of people want him gone. I can't say I'm one of them, mostly because he's on my draft, and there are worse contestants. Also, I heard from Daniela on Twitter that he only had 2 days to pull this dance together. He apparently was like doing a show or something, someone told me.
That's what I don't get. Like these people who are on the show, like I feel like I would want to live there. Like just we're constantly going to be practicing. Like I get you have other commitments, but wouldn't you like clear your schedule? Like because
a lot of them are commitments they had like before they even committed to the show.
Well, personally, I thought the dance was okay. I can't get excited about Nelly, if that makes sense. Like I don't feel any interest. I mean, he's fine, but he's like Anne H. Like I feel like they're just spots that are going to go home eventually. Like I don't see Nelly in the finale.
I don't either.
But as we said earlier, from zero to hero, we go from Nelly to Carole Baskin, the queen. And my God, Circle of Life. They're in full lion outfits. You could not have written this better, Grace.
I want to know who did Pasha's makeup this week because that was just awful.
It was everything my team stood for. If we're gonna go out, this is the way I want us to go out. Just
walking through a samba.
She walked with catitude, Grace.
I mean, Derek actually said in his feedback that she's out of here before the results were even in. And then Bruno gave her yet another 3.
She didn't deserve it. She
did.
Yeah, totally like a mess. Like it was
if
like
you're on the bottom 3 weeks in a row and you're in the bottom 2 the second week out of 2, the judges are going to send you home.
It was like falling with style, but instead it was walking with no style.
Pretty much, yeah. And a fake smile.
God
and she got to, give her speech about how animals should be free. And that was her favorite thing about The Lion King. Not that it's a cinematic masterpiece, because it is a fantastic movie.
I sent this to Grace right before we went live. My all-time favorite Disney GIF comes from The Lion King. It's just perfect. Grace.
It's Rafiki throwing Simba off of Pride Rock.
It's so perfect, though, right? Come on.
It's animal. It's low-key animal abuse.
It's the scene where he thrusts the baby up instead of just like leaving it there. And the animals all cheer. Well, we move on.
Yes.
God, I'm really gonna miss Carole Baskin on this show. Like, where am I gonna go with my puns?
Some people were hoping that she would at least make it to Halloween week.
Oh, that would have been fun.
Well, no, because then she would have done something for Cats, and it would have been even worse than that movie.
That would be worth the price of admission for this show. Grace, why aren't you look? You might be like team looking for a winner. I'm on team fun. Like I just want fun.
You go. See, this is why, and that is why frickin' Skeleton won this show, because people wanted fun instead of good dancing.
Hashtag team fun. We got to do what we got to do. Well, we got Caitlin Bristow. Is it Bristow or Bristow?
I think it's Bristow, but she's Canadian. They say everything weird.
And they are doing this song, one of the most overdone Disney songs.
That won an Oscar, and we do not scoff at Lin-Manuel Miranda as long as I am present.
Yeah. They're doing How Far I'll Go from Moana.
Have you seen Hamilton?
I have seen Hamilton multiple times. I can recite perfectly all three of the King songs. Yes.
And so is Moana.
It is. I'm just saying it's like Greatest Showman level of overdone songs.
Hey, Moana is better than Frozen.
Fair enough. Touche. Well, how did Caitlin do here?
I thought her musicality was great. Her movement was great. It was very fluid. I know Carrie Ann and Derek had a disagreement. She was wearing bare feet because I know her ankle is still bothering her. She no fracture, but she said tendonitis, some shin splints. I hope she rehabs it as she should, and that she's not forced to drop out, because that would be a shame. And I hate when contestants are forced to drop out unless I don't like them, then I don't care. But like when Tom DeLay had to drop out, bye. When Dorothy Hamill had to drop out, I was devastated because she could have been something special. And she had to drop out very early. But I would have liked more hips. But I mean, she got a 23. She's consistently riding the top 5 of the leaderboard. I think she deserves to. I think this could be Artem's first trip to the semifinals, which is not saying a whole lot.
You say that. I think she could win. Like, truly.
I do too, but I hope she doesn't, because 2 Bachelorettes winning in a row would just be so bad for the show.
I could see it coming down to AJ and her.
And Caitlin.
Like, that's both your team.
I know.
Wait, that's bad.
My first 2 picks.
Yuck. Yeah.
So
No. Mickey's ears wave in disapproval. By the way, speaking of Mickey, in the intro scene with Tyra Banks and Mickey, that was not Mickey. That voice was all wrong.
I don't know who's voicing Mickey now, but that was an homage to Fantasia.
Did they replace Mickey's voice?
They do all the time.
No, but this was like Mickey's smoking cousin. Like like that's not Mickey. Like I know
title.
What, Mickey's smoking cousin?
Or is it going to be something about Carol Baskin?
Oh God. Well, let's talk about Vernon.
I mean, I liked the homage to Fantasia because that movie is... I actually watched it recently. It is spectacular. And it's so different, and nobody else has done anything like it.
All right. Well, I love the costume here. Vernon and
Peta.
And Peta, they're doing a quick step to be our guest.
Ugh.
Why ugh?
I did Beauty and the Beast in high school, and in the musical, it goes on forever, and we rehearsed it for like a month, and I can't even hear it anymore. It makes me so crazy.
I have a personal thought. I've recently rewatched Beauty and the Beast, like now as an adult.
I haven't watched it in a long time.
I gotta say, Belle seems pretty like full of herself in the beginning of the story. Like she's going around calling everyone the little town, little person. Like, why doesn't
feels
someone
like an outcast?
No, but she's mean to everyone else, and there's just like, yeah, I understand why no one talks to you because you're really judgy and mean.
Well, no, I mean that movie actually was nominated for Best Picture, which I recently found out. I was a little surprised by that. No, Silence of the Lambs won.
Yeah.
That was before the Best Animated Feature category came out, which is now the Just Give It to Pixar award.
Well,
because Pixar always wins.
Did you have any real thoughts on this stance?
I thought, I mean, again, another guy who knows how to play the game, talking about how much he loves his kids. I would have rather him been the Beast rather than Lumiere, even though Lumiere is a much better character. I thought the Beast would have suited him better. I thought it was a little flat-footed. The excitement felt fake. I didn't love it as much as the judges did. They gave him a 22. Carrie Ann gave him an 8. But I'm happy he's here. I don't know how much longer he's going to be here. I don't think he'll win. But
I see him going early mid-pack. No,
Mhm.
early second pack. Like
He'll
cut it in
outlast
half,
Anne. He'll
and then
outlast Nelly. Beyond that, he's not going to push one of the front runners out.
Well, next up, Neve Schulman and Jenna doing an Argentine tango. This is my second favorite. This was epic. It's the word to describe it. I love the costumes. I love the moment when she slaps him and it works with the music. I was like, ooh, I felt that, and that was fake. I loved it. Truly loved it. What about you?
I mean, Riker Lynch will always be my Jack Sparrow with the show. Look up his Disney Night Dance. He did He's a Pirate with Allison, and it was like slaytastic. But they did Disney Night later in the season that year, so people had an opportunity to be better. I was actually nervous for Neve because I wasn't sure if he could pull off characters. I mean, I know the actors can, I know the performers can, but I wasn't sure if he could, and he did it really well. Although his daughter and her love for the teacup ride at Disneyland.
That raised an eyebrow. That from you. That was like
a little
all
bit.
The rides, not Splash Mountain, not Space Mountain. Not.
I've never been to Disneyland. I've been to Disney World a bunch, so I don't know if any of the rides are different. But no,
I've been to both.
Of course, she's a little girl.
They both got good rides, but yeah, this was like well done. Like,
so good.
The dancing was great. The show of it, the costumes, everything, like all the box ticked for me.
Tied for number one in the stores.
Good job, I say. Well, from there we move to Johnny Weir and Britt doing a rumba. They are doing this to Reflection from Mulan. My favorite Mulan performance from Dancing with the Stars that I can actually remember was Omani and Val. That was pretty cool.
They got Donny Osmond to sing it.
Hashtag favoritism. And she didn't even win. But
Don't
yeah,
even bring that up.
this performance, I will say the song choice was a little weird. I don't know. I don't know. But the dance itself. Again. Because
it was from the Disney
I didn't even
Plus
think of that
version, which I am not paying $30 to see. I can count on one hand the number of movies that I would willingly pay $30 to see. And a remake of Mulan with no music and no Mushu does not crack that list. I'll wait a few months until it's available to everybody.
They took out all the things that were good about this movie and just, yeah. What did you think about the performance in the song choice?
I was actually nervous for him to do a rumba because his movements have been pretty jerky, but his shapes were gorgeous. Like this was easily his best dance. He's still a little bit placed, which I think next week works in his favor. I know he was excited to do Reflection because apparently he loves Christina Aguilera. I love Christina Aguilera. She's one of my heroes. I didn't see much hip action, but character was great. Like I said, his upper body was gorgeous. And he tied for number one with Neve, so I was ready to count him out, and then he was just like, oh no, you are not counting him out.
I agree with you about the placed part of it. I
didn't.
Is that maybe that's something that comes from being a figure skating. Maybe in figure skating
Lindsay,
you are.
I don't know if you've ever seen it, but Lindsay Arnold, pro who's taking this season off to be pregnant, has been doing recaps of the shows. I didn't see one for this week yet, but she mentioned with figure skaters on the shows that they're often placed, and a lot of people are comparing him to Meryl and Charlie. They were ice dancers. Ice dancing is different. Johnny is a single skater where it is all about technique and being perfect all the time.
Well,
but every figure skater except for Dorothy Hamill because she quit. Well, she had to quit, and Charlie because there were two of them has made the finale. I don't know if he'll necessarily do that, but again, he and Neve were the top two, were tied for number one this week, so I'm not counting him out just yet.
But are you counting out Jesse Metcalf and Sharna doing a jive to something from Newsies? I don't know what.
King of New York.
How did they do, Grace?
I thought Sharna's dress with the newspaper on it was actually really clever. And his posture, which has always been a complaint, does not come into play here. I thought his feet were kind of flopping. They kind of looked like this. I don't know. I agree with the judges that he is moving up, like AJ, like some others. I'm not totally convinced that he can dethrone one of the front runners like I am with Jeannie, but he's doing okay.
I think at best he's looking for Frankie Muniz third place spot, and I don't even see that happening. That's a a stretch. I think maybe 6th or 7th at best, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
But I love the staging for this. I love the newspaper background. Like I'm a newspaper person also. Like I loved it. It was just like really cool. The dancing was good. I've never heard this song. This was the Broadway show, right?
It's in the movie too. The Broadway show is based on the movie. The movie bombed. The Broadway show was awesome. So I guess they've decided to forgive the movie.
But yeah, some great moves, some great stuff. I think well done, is what I would say.
Definitely. I'm still
But
not entirely
also-
convinced that he can jump out of the middle yet, though.
Exactly. That's what I was about to say. But we move on to Chriselle and Gleb. They're doing a waltz. What's the song?
A dream is a
This
wish your
was-
heart makes.
Oh, this is like pinnacle Disney. Like this is Ears. This is peak Disney, Grace.
Yeah.
What did you think?
Well, Von Miller did this, and Whitney was a gorgeous Cinderella. Of course, I love her. She's on Pregnant Reserve alongside Lindsay. But no, I thought the opening turn was a little bit shaky. There were parts where they were in hold where she was leaning back too much, and it kind of looked like a little bit unsteady. She did it well. I thought the 8 from Bruno was a gift, but I'm not surprised that she's still there at all. I don't know how much more gas she has, though.
Well, so that's kind of the episode. I don't know where Chriselle's going to end up. I don't think she's, like I said, I think middle half is where she's going to go. But I heard something about some spoilers. Maybe this could be our time to say farewell to our non-spoiler viewers. And
okay, yeah. So just
tell me
to
what's
touch on
going
the
on.
elimination once again. The
right.
bottom 2 were Anne and Carol. All of the judges voted to save Anne. And I think the bottom 2 was correct. I think the elimination was fair. I really don't have any complaints. I know Adam does, but
I was hoping that if we skipped over it, we could pretend it didn't happen.
Oh, hey, Matt. Matt follows me on Twitter. Matt actually runs the Dancing with the Stars fantasy game that I judge.
Well, Matt, who's your favorite this season? But spoiler time. I want to hear what's going on.
Next week, there is no official theme. It kind of looks like it's going to be a touch on the most memorable year because we've got Sky's. I'll talk about that later. There's some tributes going on. So list alphabetically as always for the top 13. Monica and Val are doing a samba to Party in the USA.
Oh, God.
Even Miley Cyrus hates that song. Like, that's how bad that song is. Matt's top 5, Sky, Caitlin, Justina, Jeannie, and Johnny. Okay, so 3 out of those 5 are on Matt's team. We've got to talk, or on Adam's team. We got to talk after the show.
We got this. Go team.
All right, moving on.
No
Caitlin
AJ.
No, a lot of people think AJ is a lock for the Final 4, though. I think he is
Right,
too,
go
but
on.
I'm not convinced yet. Caitlin and Artem are doing a Viennese waltz to Beautiful Crazy by Luke Combs. Never heard of it.
Never heard of it. Keep going.
Vernon and Peta are doing a rumba to Let's Stay Together. That should be fun.
Okay.
Loving you, weather. Okay, I'm done.
Whoa, we got a performance over here.
Okay. Yeah, Anne and Kia are doing a Paso Doble to Rise by Katy Perry. Not sure if they will rise.
That's a good song for it. Like,
oh yeah, cross promotion again, but I actually do like that song. And I don't know if they will rise, but maybe they will. Sky and Alan are doing a foxtrot to Ordinary People. I love John Legend, and apparently she is also going to do a tribute to Cameron Boyce. She has mentioned previously that she is actually donating some of the money she's making for being on the show to his foundation. And I mean, if this is her comeback week, I don't want to say I'm totally okay with it because she's on your team, but I mean, like I said, it will move people to vote.
right.
Justina and Sasha are doing a salsa, which should be good, to Que Viva La Vida. It's a Latin song. I've never heard of it.
Que Viva La Vida. Sounds fun.
The highlight of the night for me, AJ and Cheryl are doing a cha-cha to Larger Than Life. Yay!
I don't know that song.
It's a Backstreet Boys song.
Oh, God.
All you people, can't you see? Can't you see? I was hoping we'd get I Want It That Way for his rumba, but...
That's got to be for the finale.
That was Nick Carter's freestyle, which was better than Dindy's I Will Fight You People.
No, it wasn't.
It was.
I just rewatched that like an hour ago. No,
it was.
wrong.
It was better. It was better.
Wrong.
Moving on. Jeannie and Brandon are doing a tango to Seven Nation Army.
Ooh,
I was in
that's
marching band for 8
good.
years. I never need to hear that song again, but
I can play that song on guitar.
Yeah, I was in marching band for 8 years. I've played it 500 times at every football game I've ever been to.
That's a good thing. Like that could be a fun. Justina will top the leaderboard with AJ. Monica will be at the bottom.
A lot of people are saying that they were surprised Monica survived the week. I thought the bottom two was fair, but I'm one person. Moving on. Jesse and Sharna are doing a cha-cha to Smooth by
Smooth
Santana
Criminal?
and Rob No, Smooth, the Santana and Rob Thomas song. Give me your heart, make it real. Eric,
we go all out here on Reality Hour.
These are actually just leopard ears. I got them from a costume when I did a musical. And this is my Carol Baskin tribute.
Shh, don't tell them.
And no, you wait to see my look for 80s week. I'm going all out for that.
Oh God.
Yeah, 2 weeks from now is 80s week, and I'm so hyped because I love 80s music.
I'm just imagining you like holding a hand up, like holding a disco ball, like for the entire podcast.
Oh yeah, that Mickey disco ball they had in the show was quite clever. All right, moving on. Because we got a few more to get through. Nelly and Daniela are doing a paso doble to "All I Do Is Win."
All I do is win. Oh,
it would be so hilarious if they got eliminated that week.
I love
with
that.
a song about winning. Neve and Jenna are doing a rumba to "Because You Loved Me" by Celine Dion, which is a song that has been sung in many of my shower concerts.
Oh God.
All right, we won't talk about that. At least I can sing.
At least you can admit it. My shower concerts are basically. Oh, we shouldn't even go there.
or my car concerts are more frequent. But all right, 2 more left. Chriselle and Gleb are doing a foxtrot to "Adore You" by Harry Styles.
Fair, good choice.
And Johnny and Britt are doing a jive to "Crocodile Rock," which has been done several times. Bindi Irwin did it. I have
no words for the comment.
Yeah. She's not dead. Hey, she's happy. She can go back to her husband.
Eric, did you notice the color of my ears? They're black because I am in a state of cat mourning. I am making sad cat meow sounds, and I am devastated.
Yeah, Johnny is gonna have a tough time living up to Bindi.
Yeah, I just rewatched Bindi's. Like
that was her first dance, so there was definitely room.
Good.
It was not one of her highlights, but it was a great dance for week 1.
Yep. All right.
Yeah, Matt, thanks for tuning in. Like, get everybody else here.
We've been doing we've gotten some views. Like our last videos.
Yeah.
People are coming out for Dancing with the Stars.
Yay, I love that.
Grace, anything else you want to kind of touch on from the episode, the week ahead? Any worries, predictions for bottom twos?
I'm very excited for AJ to finally do a Backstreet Boys song. Like I said, I was hoping for a rumba to "I Want It That Way," but yeah, I think Sky, if she's gonna have a breakout moment, this could be it, and also paying tribute to Cameron Boyce will win her a lot of points with people. I think this is the closest thing we're getting to most memorable year night. Tyra said only 4 themes. We've already had 1. Like I said, in 2 weeks, we've got 80s week. I don't know what the other 2 are. I'm guessing Halloween night. That's a staple.
I could totally see Sky's performance going viral. Like I could see, Oh,
I know.
All right. Well, anything else?
Not for me.
Well, from me, I will say I am Adam Samuel. You can find me on Twitter at AdamSoapbox or on my website, adamsoapbox.com, and my YouTube channel where I do book reviews. There was going to be a video this week. I don't have the energy, so I'm gonna be pushed off. I recently just finished this book called Sold on a Monday. It's pretty good. What about you, Grace? Where can we find you?
On Twitter at reality2_Grace. I am also a judge on Mr. Matthews' Fantasy Dancing with the Stars game, Dancing with the Stars Showdown fan edition season. I would like to congratulate our winners, Tom Holland and Haley. Haley has never been a Dancing with the Stars pro, but hopefully it will happen eventually, especially now that her boyfriend is a judge. And we actually start our next season, which is an all-star season, this Saturday. And there are some awesome couples that I'm excited to see again. There's some fun Dancing with the Stars contestants, a few Strictly contestants. For Eric, X Factor winner Alexandra Burke will be there. And some others. So come and join us. It'll be Thursdays and Saturdays. We start on Saturday.
Grace, thank you so much for chatting with me here. These are fun to do.
Yes.
And now, as we approach the final seconds of this podcast, all I can think of is what is the perfect pun that I can end this with. So I think I'm just maybe going to skip that stage. I said my piece and say that this podcast will be ending right. Meow.